Hey, it's Dane Scott along with Pocket Frog.
Welcome aboard.
And welcome to you, to the YouTube channel, to the podcast. Today is one of the most important ones probably that I've ever done, because if you can do this well, you can succeed in voiceover. If you can't do this well, it's going to limit your success in voiceover. That is the ability to speak naturally, to sound conversational and just normal when you do a voiceover.
I always wanted to know how to do that style.
It's not always easy, and we're going to get into it. Got some hints for you and some little techniques that you can use to try and get into that natural groove coming up next.
Studio Takes. Real help for the aspiring voiceover artist and Fiverr entrepreneur.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a tweaker. I'm constantly going back to my web page or to my Fiverr account or whatever and tweaking, making little adjustments and changes and trying things out, because I think maybe sometimes they'll help and sometimes because it's just kind of fun. Over at the gigdoctor.com website, thegigdoctor.com, I've made a couple of changes on the homepage and elsewhere that make it even faster to get to the voiceover coaching page right from the homepage there. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that I have that kind of centered. There's a kind of an amber or a gold tile, and then there's a button that says Show Me. So if you click on that, it takes you to the page. And from the page, then you can scroll through and you can read information about the service. You can watch a video. You can see some testimonials, including a new one from Greg Whitaker here. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate your nice comments the other day and the ability to be able to add you to the page. So that's all cool. The reason I'm bringing it up mainly today is because at the end of today's session, this is June 2021, and through the middle of this month, I'm going to give you a special discount with a coupon code on coaching. So please do stick around till the end. Voiceover coaching discount coupon code is going to be coming up.
Okay, time to join the party for real.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It's about time we get down to it. One of the most difficult things to do well, as I mentioned earlier, is to sound natural. Why is that? You know, I actually posted this in one of our Facebook groups and got some really interesting responses. People talking about how difficult it is for them, and one speculating, I think accurately, that part of the reason why it's hard to sound natural when we're doing a voiceover is that they aren't our words, which is pretty much it, I think. I think that really kind of hits at the crux of the thing. So congratulations to that poster on making a really good point. It is difficult because they are not our words. And so how do we make them our words? That's part of the trick to this thing. And the other is, how do we sound when we're natural? Are we aware of what we sound like when we're natural? And one of the kind of neat tricks that I've discovered that can help me with that is to just simply go from talking to somebody to reading the copy, so that it's not clear, where one ends and where the other begins. When you can do that, suddenly the way you talk really is the way you sound naturally. I've been doing professional voiceovers for over 4 decades. I've recorded tens of thousands of commercials, phone messages, corporate and e-learning narrations, as well as characters for movies, video games, and lots more. My voice has been heard on major TV and radio networks, representing major brands and Fortune 500 companies like Western Union, Penske, Truck Rentals, Auto Plus Auto Parts, Western Union. So what I just did was I went from talking to you to reading some copy off of my webpage. And if you were watching the YouTube video, you might have seen my eyes glance over to the page and hopefully didn't notice any real significant difference in the way I was talking, which is the goal. We want it to sound like we're just telling people whatever we're telling them. I mean, some charge hundreds per hour for professional voice coaching. I just can't bring myself to do that. I want to keep things affordable. An initial 1-hour session where we become acquainted, do some initial reads, baseline your abilities, assess your prospects, and discuss the future is just $99. So again, what I was doing was just reading right off of the page. trying to make the transition back and forth between what I'm saying to you live here and just letting you help you take your voiceover work to the next level with affordable, practical, real-world guidance via Skype or Zoom. So you can see it is possible. And one of the things you can do maybe is if you have someone in the house that you can be speaking to, and maybe you can even just try this with them, where you actually have the copy in front of you, and at the same time you're just having a conversation with them, and then you suddenly just pivot your head and you start talking. And right now you might be stranded at home due to COVID-19. You can turn that into an opportunity by strengthening your abilities and expanding the amount of freelance work you're capable of. So are you able to detect when I go from one to the other? Rather than just feeling stuck during COVID, you can be victorious. Use this time to advance, to improve, to develop yourself in a pursuit that's completely indifferent as to location. VoiceOver is the ideal home-based business. You can see that I'm just kind of ping-ponging back and forth between talking to you live and going to the copy on the page. Is it detectable to you? Well, no matter how good we get at this, there's always going to be a certain amount of it that's going to sound a little less natural, because copy that is written to be, presented for sales or to make some kind of a point usually is written more articulately than the way we speak when we're just, talking in conversation. But there's going to be a certain amount of it that will sound like just what's natural. I mean, I had previously enrolled in an online course called Gig Winners, featuring Coach Dane and other amazing panelists, discussing how to create an amazing demo. I was thoroughly impressed and even more excited by the wealth of information in this one course. If you can switch back and forth between talking to someone in the room, maybe it's just your pet. Maybe you've got your little studio pooch with you there, or your studio cat, and you're just talking to them. And then you suddenly just swivel your head and begin talking into the mic without changing your attitude, your facial expression, your body language, without tensing up, just staying just as relaxed and everything as you were before. I think you'll find that attitude, that whole approach, will make you just naturally sound more natural.
That makes sense.
It totally does, if you think about it. What could be more natural than just being yourself? The trick, if you are reading something that is definitely written to be commercial, is you got to get into the copywriter's head a little bit. They aren't your words. You need to make them your words somehow. And if you don't really know what the point was that the copywriter had in mind, that's really where you start to stray off the path. And you no longer will sound natural because you really don't know what you're saying or why you're saying it. So the more you can analyze the copy and get inside the copywriter's head, think about what was their motivation for what they're writing and what does it really mean? What is it attempting to communicate? Suddenly the points that you're making will just be so much more logical to you, and that will make everything sound much more natural and real and believable and understandable. So I hope that's helpful to you today. All right, let's get on to the coupon code today. Actually, they call it a promo code over at the website. If you were to order a 1-hour initial assessment and get-together coaching session, normally it's $99. And right now, if you put in this coupon code, Coach25, Coach25, you'll save $25 on that coaching session. So go to thegigdoctor.com. You can click on the bright new button there that takes you to the right page, and then just order a session, and we'll get together and we'll have fun. I guarantee we'll have a good time. All right, coming down to the end.
Hey, you know what to do.
That's right. Got to subscribe now so you can follow these things all the time. Click the bell, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the podcast. Leave your comments, too, either at the podcast or at the YouTube channel, because I love to hear your feedback and your ideas and your questions and your comments. And I'll catch you next time.
You give me a call.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, I think.
Hello, cutie pie.
Until I heard the voice, I'd never done a crazy thing in my whole life.
Goodbye.